This video is sponsored by PoketownStore.com, the best place to get yourself some TCG code cards. They're compatible with TCG Live as well, and they literally have everything. Use the coupon code ZapDoesTCG for 5% off on everything on the website. This video is also sponsored by CardsMarket.com. This is a European platform where you're able to buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. I personally use it every single day, and you can use the referral name ZapDoesTCG when creating an account. Also, this video is sponsored by YourPlaymat.com, the best website to create your own unique custom playmat from scratch. They ship worldwide and you can get 10% off by clicking the link down below. How cool is that? Last but not least, this video is sponsored by DragonShield.com, the best website to, of course, buy accessories. They have sleeves, they have binders, they literally have everything you want to start playing competitively. Or, if you're a collector, you can also get some fresh looking clear fit sleeves. They have everything. Check the link down below, of course, the affiliated link, and you're going to be helping out the channel so much. Thanks for sticking around with the commercials, and I'll see you guys shortly. Peace. What's up YouTube, it's ZapDoesTCG and welcome back to our TCG video on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 best decks in the current format right now. The Brilliant Stars format has actually evolved quite a little bit after we've got, of course, real life events back. We've seen, of course, the Salt Lake City regionals, the Sao Paulo regionals just recently, Liverpool regionals, etc. So there's just so much data to go off of, and I'm going to be basing this on personal experience. I also went to the Liverpool regionals. I've seen a lot of these decks in action and actually played countless of games with all of these decks. So I'm just going to be giving you the statistics combined with my personal opinion. If your opinion is different, be sure to let me know in the comments, and we can get a discussion started about what is the best deck in the Brilliant Stars format. First of all, be sure to hit that subscribe button. You're going to get daily Pokemon TCG content over here that you don't want to miss out on. I'm posting all the winning deck lists on the channel, and we're also, of course, showcasing some gameplay here and there. So let's just get this adventure started. Of course, this is going to be a list. These are the top 10 best decks to look forward to if you're going to an upcoming regional tournament. For me personally, it's going to be the internationals, and of course Frankfurt in Germany. I'll be attending that internationals, and it's already having 800 players, so I'm very excited. Still don't know what to play, but if I'm definitely going to be one of these decks because these are looking very solid. There might be some versions of Arceus decks that are not on here, but that's just based on their popularity. So if any of your favorite decks are not included in this list, be sure to let me know in the comments why you would include them in a top 10 list. Without further ado, let's just get this video started with number 10 is going to be Duraludon and Arceus VSTAR. You're going to be seeing Arceus VSTAR in a lot of these lists, and the reason why Duraludon has dropped down so significantly from the last tier list, or actually top 10 best decks video, is because of the inclusion of Echoing Horn and Mew VMAX. Typically, Duraludon's matchup against Mew VMAX was very good if you were able to survive the first turn Meloetta. If that happened, you have, of course, Crystal Cave and Hyper Potion to heal off significant damage. Mew VMAX was not able to touch you with their main Techno Blast attacks. They would have to rely on Max Miracle to hit you thanks to the Skyscraper ability. Duraludon is immune from attacks from special energies, which makes it still a very great pick in today's metagame. It will always have a spot in there. I'm just a little bit scared of the fact that a lot of decks are running stuff like the aforementioned Path to the Peak, which goes through the Skyscraper ability. So it just stranded here on the number 10 spot. That does not mean it's a bad deck, because we've already know that Riley won the Full Grape Games event with in the early phases of Brilliant Stars. But it actually fell down a little bit just because of the genius inclusion of Echoing Horn and Mew VMAX list. So that's going to be the reason why it's going to be a little bit lower. But it's a very strong deck. You utilize the double turbo energy onto an Arceus. Arceus can then, of course, put energies onto Duraludon. Duraludon is very tanky with Big Charm, and with, of course, a Duraludon and Big Charm, you're going to force the opponent to an 8-prize game to, of course, have 2 Duraludon VMAXs ready to go, and that's going to be very hard for the opponent. Love the inclusion of Avery in here, definitely for decks like Malamar or Mew VMAX. You're definitely going to be punishing the opponent's bench space, but also works out wonders against stuff like Suicune. Okay, and also surprisingly you can get, of course, you might think why there is a true tree line of the Duraludon VMAX. Well, you can get a Duraludon VMAX in play as well with the Rapid Strike, actually the Single Strike Mustard here. Very, very cool to see. Moving forward is going to be number 9, Ice Rider Calyrex VMAX. There's a lot of Melanie decks out there. We, of course, have Suicune, we have the Arceus Inteleon build as well. This is also a Melanie based deck, utilizing Melanie to get energy onto your Ice Rider and drawing 3 cards. I also love the fact that we've cut down a Drizzle and a quick shooting Inteleon to add in the Bibarel engine, because Bibarel does help to draw more cards, and drawing cards can actually allow you to play these weird supporters like Leon, so you don't have to use a supporter to draw cards, and Leon gets you the numbers. Definitely, if you combine it with quick shooting, you of course have the max lance attack, allowing you to hit up to 250. With the addition of the choice belt introduced into Brilliant Stars, you're going to be able to slap 280 damage. Pair that with a Leon, and out of nowhere you one-hit KO Mew VMAX. Pair that with a quick shooting, you're hit into a 330 territory, which is very good. The list also runs Manaphy, respecting of course its weakness to stuff like Jolteon and Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, and the list also runs Path to the Peak. So this initially is not running Crobat, it is not running Luminion, so you can definitely make use of the Path to the Peak. Hopefully it sticks in play, and if that happens, Path to the Peak Marnie still wins games, so don't worry about the fact that you say like, oh, I have a little bit of a slower deck. There's 3 Capacious Buckets on top of 7 energy, so you don't whiff that first turn energy attachment, which is very crucial to of course punish the opponent with max lance, and of course the boss's order. So Ice Rider, not a bad deck in general, but it's just having that survivability factor. Sometimes Arceus can boss it, sometimes Mew can boss it, and if you don't have 2 Ice Riders down on the first turn, it's a little bit shaky, so that's why it's here on the number 9 spot. Number 8 is Gengar. Gengar did see a huge resurgence in play ever since the Salt Lake City Regionals, and right now we're just seeing a consistent list with Bibarel and of course 2 copies of Crobat. Crobat early game allows you to dig for the Battle VIP pass, and if you're able to slap down 2 Houndours and a Gengar, you're probably going to be winning the matchup against Mew VMAX. Having a favorable Mew VMAX matchup is very good in today's meta game, but also relying on the Path to the Peak here will allow stuff like Arceus to not utilize their Star Birth ability. Having Choice Belt gets of course the G-Max Swallow Up to a base of 280, pair that up with some single strike energies, and you're getting one-hit KOs on everything in the format. Having access to a Stonejourner, which is also a fighting type, allows you to hit weakness against stuff like Jolteon, but more importantly against stuff like the Arceus VSTAR matchups. If they are not prepared for the Stonejourner, it comes out of nowhere, it only requires 3 energy, so you can attach off turn and get of course 2 single strike roars off. It's going to be fantastic for you to try out that Stonejourner. This is a list just running of course 4 Quick Ball, 3 Ultra Ball, 3 Battle VIP Pass, 2 Crobat. So early game you want to get your setup, and as soon as you get your setup, you're going to be a happy Gengar boy, because you're going to be able to slaughter a lot of opponents with the G-Max Swallow Up. So try this list out, it's good. Sometimes it's shaky if you don't get your setup. If you don't get, of course, your perfect first turn, this deck might feel a little bit shaky as well. So because of consistency issues, it is only here on the number 7 spot, if I'm not mistaken. So we have 10, 9, yeah, it's on the 8th spot, yeah. Number 7 right now is going to be Suicune Ludicolo. We of course saw this at the Salt Lake City Regionals as well, even getting all the way to 2nd place, and we of course see that a list like this is only requiring Melanie and Raihan, so no Marnie, Research, etc. We just want to be utilizing the energy acceleration onto Suicune time and time again, and with of course the help of Shady Dealings, you're going to be able to of course get any item cards or any trainer cards for that matter flying out of the deck. That means you of course can fetch your rare candies, can fetch your double cross switcher, which is initially your boss's orders, and also allows you to of course get evolution Pokemon like with the evolution Incense. You can get Enthusiastic Dance to power up the Blizzard Rondo attack from Suicune, which maximizes at 220 damage if both players have a full bench. You can of course use Echoing Horn and Choice Belt to come out of nowhere with more damage buff, because Echoing Horn puts a Pokemon from their discard pile into their bench, and Choice Belt allows you to slap an additional 30 damage. So Suicune can hit huge numbers. You can utilize Enthusiastic Dance to of course get 100 additional damage output with Blizzard Rondo to one-hit KO opponents. So it is a basic Pokemon, so no, you don't require an evolution to attack. So if you have a great hand, sometimes if you go 2nd for instance, you can already attack if you find your Melanie on turn 1. The good news is with Fleet-Footed, you can also draw an additional card, and you have access to Capture Energy to fetch yourself some Subbles early on top of Level Balls and Quick Balls. So yeah, a very good list. I don't know what I would change about the list, but it's looking very strong. And with Cape of Toughness, Arceus is out of range from KOing you. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about the number 6 deck is going to be Robin Schultz's winning list from Liverpool. It is Urshifu and friends. I don't know how else to pronounce it, but we have Hoopa, we have Moltres, we of course have Medicham, and there's a lot of things you could do with this list. The cool thing is that there's a lot of one-off supporters, so you have a supporter for every situation out there. This deck does require a lot of training. You cannot master this deck, not even in 50 games. You need to get at least 100 games with this deck in order to know what everything exactly does. Yoga Loop with Medicham allows you to get additional turns if you utilize it perfectly. You have the GMAX Rapid Flow, allowing you to slap 120 damage to 2 targets. You can pair that up with Telescopic Sight and the Throwing Coach Persimmon to get 182 bench V Pokemon. So you can knock out stuff like Lumineon, Crobat, Eldegoss, all those bench hitters. You just slap them for damage, or maybe even a Mew, that player that has their Oricorio prize or is not running Oricorio can also surprisingly do that out of nowhere. The list also runs Clara to get, of course, your Darkness energies back, because you can then reutilize your Moltres, which also helps you out against the Mew VMAX matchup. In theory, this deck you might think like Urshifu is entirely losing to Mew VMAX, but with the help of these Darkness attackers, you definitely get the job done. Sometimes you could utilize Hoopa to slap into a Meloetta, which knocks it out. If they have Oricorio, they have 20 HP remaining, which means next turn you can Yoga Loop and prepare yourself for some crazy GMAX Rapid Flow shenanigans, because if you can get knocked out, you can utilize Raihan to get energies, but if you Yoga Loop, you sometimes can utilize the Raihan on the second turn that you get with Yoga Loop, which is just crazy. This deck is big brain shenanigans. If you're able to, of course, have a lot of time and on your hands, try this list out. It is very, very insane if you can get everything off. You Cheryl everything away if you're up against decks that are not able to one-hit KO you. Think about Arceus. You have Peonia to, of course, dig for resources in your prize cards, and there's Sonya to fetch energies or Pokemon from the list. Octillery, also with the Rapid Strike Search, allows you to get any Rapid Strike card from the deck. So, funky list, but it's doing the job. Moving forward, it is going to be, we have number, let's see here, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So number 5, right in the middle right there, is Jolteon VMAX. What can we say about Jolteon VMAX that hasn't been said? The deck didn't get a huge buff with stuff like Brilliant Stars. It now has a little bit of a worse time, I would say, against Mew VMAX, because Mew VMAX now has Choice Belt, which now more easily one-shots Jolteon VMAX. Luckily, we have the Judge Path to the Peak combo, which can just throw them off guard, even if they're running Switching Cups, or if they're running stuff like the Rotom Phones to put a Stadium card on top of the deck, that they think, oh, you're gonna Marnie me? No, we're gonna be utilizing the Judge just for that reason. So Path to the Peak Judge allows you to win games against Mew VMAX. You have access to Quick Shooters, you have access to Zigzagoons early on, and if the Path sticks, even the Mew VMAX players will cry, and you're going to be able to win against them. With Path to the Peak, you also slow down Arceus VSTAR from utilizing the Star Birth ability, but also is going to help you out, slowing opponents down, not allowing them to utilize Crobat, etc. And Jolteon just wins by announcing the Max Thunder Rumble time and time again. You, of course, have Elemental Badge, allowing you to, of course, use Max Thunder Rumble for only 1 energy because of Elemental Badge. You're going to be able to heal off damage. Let's say Arceus slaps into you. You could utilize Cheryl. You even can use it twice during a game, and that's gonna set them back so much, and you're gonna be winning games with that. Also, be careful, some of these Arceus builds are also running Chair and Scare, so it's gonna be some healing combinations. You attack, they attack, you attack, they attack, but the cool thing is you hit the bench sitters, which helps to win the prize race, right? So let's see if Jolteon can make a huge resurgence, of course, with the upcoming internationals coming in Frankfurt on the end of April. Moving forward, number 4, the top 4 best decks, we have Malamar of all things. One prize Malamar. This is based, of course, on Brendan Kahneman's list, of course, that he utilized to, of course, get second. But instead of running 2 Shady Dealings, this list is also running an additional Remoraid and an additional Quick Shooting. So you can actually, sometimes, if you're not able to finish off stuff, you can Quick Shoot later, because I love the fact that the list is running 4 Scoop Up Net, right? So you can utilize Quick Shooting, put it back in hand, slap it down again on another Drizzle, and Quick Shoot again to finish off opponents, which is something I love with this list. Cynthia's Ambition, the card from Brilliant Stars that gave life to Malamar, allowing you to draw cards until you have 8 cards in hand if a Pokemon got knocked out during the opponent's last turn. Super broken, and you can fetch that easily with Shady Dealings. You always want to go second with this list. I have seen so many people misplay with Malamar, always go second with the Inteleon build. People might prefer Chinchino builds, but that's just for another day. Today we're focusing on the Inteleon build, so what you do is you go second, you utilize the Keep Calling on top of Brawly to get everything out of the deck on your bench. The following turn you get KO'd, you use Shady Dealings, fetch Cynthia's Ambition, have a huge hand size, utilize the evolution of Remoraid to an Octillery, get, of course, the Rapid Strike Search ability to search any Rapid Strike card from the deck, and the deck just goes in circles trying to get Cynthia's Ambition time and time again. Why do I think it's not one of the best decks in the format? Well, sometimes you have those situations that you don't get the KO that you really want. And that's where the deck falls behind. Sometimes you use Cynthia's Ambition. What do you get? Cynthia's Ambition, Rescue Carrier, Ordinary Run. You say like, this deck. So, but if you do get the nuts and get everything, sometimes you Cynthia's Ambition for 8 Rapid Strike cards. You just slam them all to the opponent, shuffle them back in deck, and slap huge damage with Rapid Strike Tentacle, slapping 40 damage for every Rapid Strike card you're willing to reveal to shuffle back in the deck. Love this deck. It is sometimes a little bit shaky. Arceus matchups are a little bit closer than I anticipated, and also if a Mew player does it well, utilizing the, of course, Oricorio's attack, I don't know what it's called, it's like sprinkles or whatever. Yeah, they can just, play it well. It's still a shaky matchup. Luckily, there's the Bossasaurus in here to just help with that matchup. Sometimes, like, a Mew VMAX with an Oricorio waiting in the batch, you don't want to see that. Sometimes you just want to knock out a Genesect and win the game, so the Bossasaurus is in there for that purpose. Moving forward, the 3 top best decks in the deck in the format, we have stuff like Arceus Birds. Yeah, the sponsors are a little bit in the way to see everything, I would say. So, yo, look at that. They are gone for now. So, what can we see? Also, now that I think about it, was that also the case for Urshifu? Yeah, it was not the case for Urshifu because this list was a little bit bigger than the other one. But yeah, here we are. Arceus Birds, probably one of the decks that Sander Piero put on the map, I would say. Was that even a thing here with the quick shooting? I don't know if they were running quick shooters, but anyhow, this is a list revolving around Arceus VSTAR's Star Birth ability to get anything out of the deck, and you can of course get your counter attackers ready. Zapdos can knock out opposing Pokemon that are weak to fighting if they have a lot of V Pokemon in play, because with its fighting instinct, you actually need to pay 1 card's energy less for its attack. So if the opponent has like 2 Vs in play, you could Raihan onto Zapdos, attach off turn, and boom, KO an Arceus, KO a Gengar, KO a Jolteon. It's all possible with that. Not only that, we have the baby Galarian Moltres, which just preys on Mew VMAX, just knocking them out instantly. As soon as they've taken 3 prize cards, there is the Galarian Moltres just flying around. You can get it back with Clara. There's 2 copies of Clara in here, on top of a Palpad, because sometimes early game you research that away. The Cape of Toughness is there to just put on Galarian Zapdos so you survive a hit against Arceus VSTAR, and if a Zapdos can knock out 2 Arceus, you're probably going to be winning the game. This is all running on an Inteleon engine as well, so you can use Shady Dealings to fetch yourself the Raihan. You can fetch yourself the Energy Surge, because there's a lot of like one-off energies in here. The Water Energy, you could utilize that to of course Raihan onto Inteleon with the Aqua Bullet. Very great against Malamar on top of Quick Shooting. You could utilize Raihan on the Zapdos, which I already mentioned, but sometimes you can also Raihan onto another Arceus if your Arceus gets knocked out turn 1 by a Mew, which is going crazy. It happens. And there's also the big Galarian Moltres V, which you can also utilize a Raihan onto. On top of that, Research Marnie are just your main draw supporters on top of the Shady Dealings to get your items flying out of the list. You also have E-Switch, which helps out with the Dire Flame Wings combos, and the Choice Belt also is very good. That Arceus is able to, of course, knock out stuff like 210 HP Pokemon on the bench. There's not a Zigzagoon in here, so you cannot knock out opposing Arceus, but Zapdos is in the list just for that purpose. And the list is also running Training Court and Darkness Energies. The Darkness Energies in combination with Clara allow you to, of course, utilize the 1 prize Galarian Moltres with the Malevolent Charge and Fury Wrath until your heart's content. So sometimes you can act like an Arceus deck, sometimes you can just act like an Inteleon deck with baby Moltres. It depends on the situation, right? And this deck is super versatile, but is a little bit difficult to play, I would say. Moving forward, number 2, Arceus, the main consistent Arceus with 4 double turbos and 6 water type energy. So this is probably performing better than the overtaxed version with the darkness stuff. I don't know how the matchup would be against Mew without a copy of Judge. I probably would maybe cut down one of the cards and add in a copy of Judge, because Judge is better than Marnie with Pat to the Peak against Mew VMAX, right? But sometimes Marnie also works out early game against Mew, so depends. If you survive your first hit, sometimes Meloetta just goes crazy and just, escape rope knocks you out. That's just a bummer, but sometimes it is like 50-50 against Mew VMAX. The other version with the darkness is having a little bit of better time against it. So huge emphasis on the Arceus VSTAR, allowing you to get any 2 cards from the deck with Star Birth. You can also overlap a stadium with Collapse Stadium. Collapse Stadium can also get rid of an Arceus VSTAR that is damaged, so I love that factor in here. This is just a straightforward, consistent build, allowing you to, of course, yeah, head off against everything. Against Malamar, you can use Raihan onto the Aqua Bullet Inteleon on top of Quick Shooting. On top of Zigzagoon will definitely help out against that matchup. You have Share and Scare. If you get knocked out, if you get slapped by an opposing Arceus or a Jolteon or anything that is not able to one-hit KO you, you can Share and Scare, put everything back in hand and evolve the Arceus on the bench and do it all over again. The cool thing with this scenario is that Arceus with its Trinity Nova puts energies onto another Arceus on the bench. So you can keep charging up Arceus time and time again and utilize Share and Scare. With the Pal Pad, you even have 4 Share and Scare if need be, but more importantly, you're gonna have more supporters like multiple Raihans, Melanies, etc., or maybe even Boss's Orders. Dunsparce with the Mysterious Nest is in the list to make sure that your fighting type weakness is not crumbling you because you don't have any other attacker except for like Aqua Bullet. And the Galarian Zigzagoon is in here for the numbers because with Choice Belt and Galarian Zigzagoon, you can boss up opposing Arceus. And that's very good to be very aggressive with a list like this. Definitely considering that you have Shady Dealings to fetch all the cards from the deck. I don't know how you feel about this list, but I think I'm very pleased with it. I think it's the first place winning list from the Sao Paulo Regionals, exactly. So big shout out to, of course, the person that won. I still need to check who won again with names. I'm not too good with names. We can check that out right now, shall we? Because we have to give credit. Yeah, it's Bruno Sermon. Yeah, exactly. So that was the second place winning list. Now Mew VMAX number 1, of course. Yeah, some things never change. Mew VMAX is broken. I'm very much fan of this list because of the fact that 3 Rose Tower and of course allowing you to just have a better start. The more consistent the Mew VMAX list is, the better it is. Mew VMAX is just broken because you're going to be able to utilize double Turbo Energy to copy any attack on the bench. You can Technoblast, you can Melodious Echo, you can use the Glistering Droplets, that was the attack name, and it's going to be very strong for you. You have early game, Battle VIP Pass almost all of the time with 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, a Rose Tower. You're going to be fetching your entire bench instantly. You have access to ropes to of course put something like an Arceus that is on the bench to the active slot and slap it instantly with Meloetta if you can find your Alessa Sparkle. Power Tablets and Choice Belt allow you to dish out more damage. This is the refined Mew VMAX list in my opinion. I also played Mew VMAX at Liverpool, but I actually overtacked a little bit with Pumpkaboo and of course stuff like the Luminion V. Did come across a little bit of too many mirrors, but this is probably the best deck in the format for a long time. The format is wrapped around it. People are attacking Darkness stuff. As you see, like a lot of these decks are playing Darkness or Path to the Peak in order to just beat Mew VMAX, and that's the only way. Cramomatic sometimes gets you everything you want. Sometimes it fails, but allows you to thin out your hand. On top of Ultra Ball, also allowing you to thin out your hand. The 3 copies of Rose Tower, I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe you should switch it up to like, I would say like 2 Rose Towers and something else. Maybe an Old Cemetery, I don't know. Because sometimes in the early phase you don't have all your Rose Towers in hand. Echoing Horn, the fantastic card to beat of course a lot of matchups. It allows you to beat stuff like Arceus decks. You can just knock out 3 Arceus instantly because you can Echoing Horn, boss it up, knock it out with Choice Belt. You also can win against Duraludon with it, and it's a very strong card. Also some funky plays you could utilize with Mew VMAX is utilizing Echoing Horn to get the Baby Moltres in play if it's in the discard pile of an Arceus Birds deck. So many capabilities with Echoing Horn, a fantastic card in here. Probably would not cut that, and yeah, there's nothing else to say. Early game, you just Ultra Ball and Quick Ball everything away. You Rose Tower, find Alessa Sparkle, attack with Meloetta. Meloetta can instantly KO, of course, anything that's in the active position on as soon as turn 1 going second, so probably the most scariest deck in the format. And that's it, the top 10 best decks in the format. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know by rocking the hell out of the like button. It only takes 1 tiny second of your time, but does help out the channel tremendously. Also, now that being said, I'm of course, planning my trip to Frankfurt. Hopefully I'll see a lot of you guys out there. And of course, check out our sponsors that help make the channel possible. Pokemon Store, if you're looking for TCGO code cards, you can also utilize them on TCG Live. TCGO is better, you know how it goes. And of course, you can get 5% off utilizing the coupon code ZapdosTCG. There's also card market for European players. You can buy and sell cards to people all across Europe. So use the referral name ZapdosTCG to help support the channel. If you're looking for sleeves, binders, and deck boxes, Dragon Shield gets you covered. There's a link down below, an affiliated link. And last but not least, your playmat. If you want to create your own custom playmat, there's a link down below which can get you 10% off on the website. So create your own custom playmat and utilize it at your next tournament. They ship worldwide. Anyhow, last question of the day. What is your favorite deck that I've showcased today? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get a discussion started. Which is the best deck in the format and which deck will eventually win the European Internationals? I'm very eagerly looking forward to your comments, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Pokemon TCG epicness. This was ZapdosTCG. I'm signing out. Peace.